got a problem.
There's so much promise and potential with the Celtics at this time. They have talented, tough-minded, selfless players, a lot of future draft picks, and one of the best coaches in the league in Brad Stevens. They have positioned themselves to be a force to be reckoned with for the next 5 to 10 years. Due in large part to the 2013 trade the Celtics made with the Brooklyn Nets, where the Celtics completely robbed the Nets for 3 first-round picks and also had the right to swap picks a couple of times. That trade is universally known as the worst trade in NBA history. That trade was so bad, the NBA is considering some rule changes to protect teams like the Nets from themselves. Ever since Brad Stevens was hired, the Celtics have gotten better and have improved their record every year. 2 years ago, Horford loved the direction the franchise was headed in and was convinced this was the organization he wanted to be a part of during free agency. Last summer, the Celtics made another big move by signing former Jazz forward Gordon Hayward, and slowly but surely, you started to see the potential of a dynasty in the Celtics. The organization had put themselves in a great position to be able to acquire a frustrated superstar who wanted to move on from his current team. After assuming the Celtics were done making major moves in the offseason, a huge story had broke that Kyrie Irving had requested a trade from the Cleveland Cavaliers, a team that had made it to the finals 3 straight years. And on August 22nd, the Celtics and the Cavaliers made a blockbuster trade that shook the whole league. Kyrie Irving was a Boston Celtic now. Pulling the trigger for the Celtics also meant giving up on fan favorite Isaiah Thomas after one of the greatest individual seasons in team history. But his hip injury he suffered in the conference finals made it that much easier to make this deal. Now Boston was looked at as a team that could take out the Cavaliers and make it to the NBA Finals. Celtics fans were floating on cloud 9 at the start of the regular season. But on opening night, that optimism quickly went away. Gordon Hayward went down with a horrific injury that had the entire sports world in shock. Their title hopes at the time seemed to go down the drain after just a couple of minutes into the season. Gordon Hayward was ruled out for the season, and the Celtics had to regroup and readjust on the fly. Everybody knew that Kyrie Irving and Horford were up to the challenge, but could they rely on 2 third overall picks in Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown? Regardless of what expectation you had for these 2 players for the future, nobody could have imagined these 2 young players will play at a consistent high level this year. Even though they had struggled a little bit before the All-Star break, they still played well beyond their years for the most part. I knew Jayson Tatum had the skill set and talent to be an elite scorer at some point of his career. He's a smooth operator who can break you down off the dribble and uses his length to reach around defenders and finish off the glass with both hands. But I'm surprised with how Jaylen Brown has developed his game. I was one who thought the Celtics made a bad pick in 2016. Jaylen was looked at as a prospect who was an elite athlete who could not shoot from the outside and could not create off the dribble. Jaylen Brown has made major improvements since his freshman year at Cal. We knew he would be able to attack the basket. Little did we know he would look like Klay Thompson from the three-point line in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals against the Cavaliers. Not only are the Celtics winning without Hayward, but also without Kyrie Irving, who had knee surgery and is ruled out for the playoffs. But the injury to Hayward gave Tatum and Brown all the opportunity in the world to get where they're at today. 2 players who are relied on to help lead the Boston Celtics to the finals for the first time since 2010. But whether they make it to the finals or not, this has been an impressive season for this team. The sky's the limit for this franchise, and big things are coming. But there is an interesting decision the Celtics could consider for the future. With Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown playing at such a high level so early in their careers, and still being on their rookie contracts for the next 2 or 3 years, would Boston consider trading a certain player? With Gordon Hayward making around $30 million a year for the next 3 years, would it be crazy to consider trading him soon? The only position the Celtics need to upgrade is the center position. This summer, Marcus Smart is a restricted free agent, and Terry Rozier will also be one the following summer. Obviously, you would love to keep both players on the team, but it will come with a big price tag. The decision to maybe trade a player doesn't have to be made soon. I'm sure a lot of people would love to see Gordon Hayward come back and play at a high level for the Boston Celtics. But it would be unfair to see Brown or Tatum come off the bench next season. All 3 players deserve to start, and I'm sure there will be times where the Celtics go small and have all 3 of them playing at the same time. But they all deserve to get big minutes every night. The Celtics have positioned themselves with valuable assets that could be flipped for another superstar. Who knows what player will be available during the season and at the trade deadline. Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, and Kyrie Irving are all in Boston thanks to former Brooklyn Nets general manager Billy King, who agreed to that 2013 trade with Danny Ainge. It sent everything in motion for Boston. All Celtics fans ought to be sending Billy King a thank you card for possibly starting a dynasty. The Boston Celtics have unlimited possibilities and have put the NBA on notice.